So yeah, today our presentation for you is the ABCs of California Public Colleges, UCs, CSUs, and CCCs. There's lots of what we call acronyms, and acronyms are when you shorten words to the first letter of each word in our higher education system in California. So UCs being shortened to University of California, shortened to UC, CSU, California State University, shortened to CSU, and CCC being California Community College. And so it can be confusing. And so today we want to tell you a little bit more about that and a little bit more about these three systems that we three think are the best in the world and why you should come to California. So June, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you. Hello, everyone. Good evening to all of you in Kazakhstan. I am Jun Wang, and I'm serving as the Assistant Provost for International Recruitment at the University of California, Riverside. And it's our pleasure to present our university system to you today morning. Thank you. And pass it on to my colleague, Tracy, at Poly Pomona.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We certainly appreciate the time that you are taking out of your schedule to come and listen to us and learn a little bit more. My name is Tracy Liu. I am the Associate Director for Admissions and Evaluations for California State Polytechnic University Pomona. It's a really, really long name, but we shorten it to call ourselves Cal Poly Pomona. So it's my pleasure to be with you today.
And everyone, my name is Michael Jones. I'm the lead recruitment at Pasadena City College, and I'm also an educational advisor. And I'm really happy to be back with Education USA Kazakhstan. We really love partnering together. And so yeah, let's get started. So what do you think of when you hear California? But there might be some things that you think of when you hear the word California. I think it's pretty common. Yeah, the Golden Gate Bridge, it's iconic. Maybe you also think of something like Hollywood, Los Angeles, the movie industry, or maybe even Disneyland. It's very iconic and people love to come to the happiest place on earth. Or maybe you think of beaches and surfing. These are things that I think are really stereotypical or people think of when they hear California. But California is more than just these iconic places, these tourist spots. It's a really rich state and there's so much to offer, especially to students who want to come to study here. One thing that's also really unique about California is that we have so many different climates and nature within our state. We have what we call the chaparral, which is like rolling hills with grassland. We also have deserts with beautiful Joshua trees. We have the mountains, we have fields of agriculture, and we also have a huge stretch of coast with beautiful beaches that you can walk along. If you love nature, California is a great place to come. But California also doesn't have great tourism and great nature. We also have some of the strongest industries in our nation. You might know that we have strong entertainment industry, film and television in Los Angeles and Hollywood. We have agriculture industry where we produce the most food out of any state in the US to go out to all the other states in our Central Valley. We have the tech industry. You might have heard of the Silicon Valley in the San Francisco Bay Area and also Silicon Beach in Los Angeles. We're also well known for the pharmaceutical and biotech industry in San Diego and in the Bay Area. We also are famous for the aerospace industry, which is in the Los Angeles area, and then also the energy industry in the Central Valley, and then the hospitality industry, which is hotels and restaurants. California has some of the best industries in our nation, and if you want to learn, also maybe get on-the-job experience, this is the place to come to study. Tracy, do you want to explain a little bit more about our higher education system?
Yes. So As Michael had already described, when you hear, if you close your eyes and you hear the word California, a lot of different things kind of conjure up in your mind. Beaches and sunshine and the Golden Gate Bridge, you know, Disneyland, things like that. But what many people don't know is that one of the richest industries in California is higher education. People don't realize that, but it is true. If you turn in one direction, you can find a million different colleges and universities in California. Turn in a different direction and you'll find the same thing. No matter which way you turn, you will find an institution of higher education. So as much as aerospace and entertainment are big industries in California, so is higher education. And one of the reasons why higher education is so rich and so important to us in California is because of a California master plan. Many decades ago in the 1960s, California, the state, had created a master plan for higher education, which created very distinct segments of higher education and pretty much defined each segment of higher education that we'll talk a little bit more about today. What the California master plan has really highlighted access and equity. You'll hear this a lot when we talk about higher education in the United States. Access meaning that, especially in California, because of our master plan, no matter who you are and no matter what your educational level or preparation, there is something and some place for you. So whether you are an 18-year-old student just about ready to go to university, or you are my 85-year-old grandma that just wants to take some classes just to better herself, no matter who you are, there is a place for you in higher education in California. And what that master plan also did was create distinct missions and distinct purposes for each of the segments of higher education. So what that meant for us is number 3, which is having a high quality education for the system that we each represent, which we'll talk about in just a moment. And the fourth and most important thing, and we'll talk a lot about that today, is that what the master plan did and what we continue to grow on in California is the idea of transfer pathways. So if you start in one place, there's always a place for you to grow and be able to build upon your degree. And so we'll talk a little bit about what the community college is, as well as the California state system, as well as the University of California, and how that can maybe even be stepping stones for you as you advance your education. Okay, so as we described, in California, you'll hear both that we have public universities and colleges, and then we have private universities and colleges. We're not going to talk so much about the private universities and colleges, but just know that those private schools tend to be maybe a little bit more selective, but also they don't rely on public funding, state or federal funding. And so public universities like ours that are on this call today all are funded by taxpayer dollars. And so we have an obligation to serve the students of California and the students of our state first. And so that's where we hear public education versus private education. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't accept international students. We certainly do. Many of our universities have an abundant number of international students, but our source and our base funding comes from the state of California. And so you'll see here that we've got literally hundreds of public universities in California. And so we've got 10 University of California campuses. And those are all throughout the state of California. When people think that California is a small place, it is certainly not. We span hundreds and thousands of miles, and across all of those are 10 University of California campuses, 23 California state universities, which is the system that I represent, and 116 community colleges. So talk about variety. When you think about higher education in California, think about how many options you have and what kind of variety that our institutions provide. So no matter what area you want to study, no matter what subject area, and no matter what kind of landscape or atmosphere you want to be in, one of our public universities and colleges will probably suit your needs. So let's talk a little bit more, just generally speaking, about each of those systems. So the first is the California Community College system, and we'll define a little bit more about what that is when Michael speaks. But California community colleges are typically two-year colleges where you can start your first 2 years of a 4-year bachelor degree. And we talked about transfer. You can start your first 2 years of university at the community college and then transfer to the California State University or even the UC to finish your 4 years. So it's a great place to start. 116 community colleges in California that you can start and do the first 2 years of a university degree, which is fantastic. We honor almost all the coursework that's offered at Pasadena City College, which is Michael's school. So California State Universities, there's 23 of our campuses. And we were born with the mission to educate students to go directly into the workforce. So we are a 4-year public university system where our goal is to graduate you ready to work. So graduate you with a 4-year degree and ready to work. So graduate on Friday, ready to work on a Monday. So we were created as teaching institutions. If you ever look at our subjects side by side with other large public university systems, you'll notice that many of our subjects are more applied. Rather than just a business administration degree, we've got degrees in marketing and human resources and management and finance. And so they're very specific and more applied. And there's 23 of our campuses. We primarily serve an undergraduate population in the California State University system as well. We do offer master's degrees and some doctorates, but it's really the University of California system that my friend June will talk about in just a moment, where they are the principal research arm of higher education in California. Their job is to do research. It's not that we don't do research, but the UC is the official higher education research arm of higher education in California. So that's how we kind of make the distinction between the California State Universities, the CSUs, and the UC. The UCs principally do research, whereas California State Universities, we don't do as much research. We really prepare you to get your first job out of college. So that's kind of the big distinction. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to my colleague June to explain a little bit more about that.
Yeah, thank you, Tracy. Thank you so much. And actually, Tracy is also one of our proud alumni and Highlander of the UC Riverside. And so am I. I'm also a product of the public university system of California. And we are all extremely proud and excited to share our mother school to you. And as Tracy has mentioned, the UC system is very unique in many ways, right? So not only we are the research arm and of the three-tier public university system in California, we are also the largest university consortium in terms of research, public research university setting in California and probably in the world. In many ways, you're looking at us, we have 10 campuses spread out in different major metropolitan areas and suburban areas in California. We cross all the way from the north nearby the state capital where UC Davis is landing. Along the coast, we have 5 campuses, San Francisco, Berkeley, Santa Cruz, Santa Barbara, Los Angeles, Irvine, and San Diego. Then we also, 6 of them. Then we also have Merced and Riverside, which is ideally located in the inland, where we are serving the people in the inland areas. And each campus also have a rich history and knowledge and expertise in certain areas. For example, Davis and Riverside are extremely famous for our research in agriculture, and San Francisco is known for their research in medicine. So the 10 campuses together, we also have, in addition to the 10 campuses together, we also run 5 medical centers and 3 national laboratories. When we say we run 5 medical centers. They are actually affiliated hospitals that we operate in the state of California. So many of us have medical school, just like the UCR also has a medical school and affiliated hospitals. Among the 10 campuses, we run almost 160 academic majors. So a lot of choices for you to choose from, both undergraduate and graduate and PhD degrees. And in that 160 disciplinary areas, you can choose among almost 800 degree programs. So you can imagine, it doesn't matter what your dream goal is, what your career choice is, almost guaranteed to find a degree program within or among the 10 campuses. There are over 280,000 students and 227,000 faculty and staff in the 10 campuses in the UC system. And we are so proud that we have over 2 million living alumni spread around in our country, as well as in the world. So I'm not going to be surprised. We're going to have a lot of alumni also in Kazakhstan, and who will be able to introduce you to your first job and career opportunities after graduation as well. We're also very proud of our research and our excellence in research that is reflected in the quality of our faculty. We have 64 Nobel laureate, probably by far the most in any university in the world. And we actually also operate and runs a lot of jobs in the state of California. We're the largest employer of the state of California, with over 430,000 jobs offered between faculty, staff, and medical providers. So it is a humongous system, but we are also unique in many other ways. Why UC, right? As you can imagine, you want to come to a reputable, and you want to come to a properly set up, and also you want to come to a famous university system where you can get a quality education. So you won't go wrong with any of the state operated public universities. Doesn't matter if it's a community college, it's a Cal State campus, or it's a UC. Get that quality assured state certified education that you would get anywhere across the board. And the uniqueness of the public research university is we operate and run research laboratories, the cutting edge research facilities and knowledge and patent and the latest and the best research topics were presented over here at the UC campuses. So every day, each faculty would be publishing their work, among their colleagues in the world. And before, I don't know how many of you know, actually 1 out of 10 paper published, academic journal paper published in the world come out from the UC system. So that is quite a bit. So we contribute 10% of the intellectual property to the world. That just shows how much UC is important to the research world. But what does that mean to undergraduate student? That means you will get the chance to enter the research laboratories at the UC campus and be able to participate in the most cutting edge research topics as an undergraduate student. And beyond that, as I mentioned earlier, you will get connection to our proud alumni in the world. We have over 2 million of them in every corner of the world, in Kazakhstan and also in US. And to be honest, everywhere, every country, every region in the world, you will find a UC alumni. We are very much committed into teaching as well. So just because we offer PhD doesn't mean we will ignore undergraduate. We actually very much emphasize and integrate our research into the undergraduate teaching. Our faculty are extremely dedicated and proud of the high quality undergraduate teaching programs that are across the board consistent and consistently delivered among all 10 campuses, which is something we're extremely proud as well. A little bit more about the undergraduate program set up at the UC system. Among the 10 campuses, actually only 9 of them offers undergraduate programs because San Francisco is set up as a medical school. who often case, actually, they probably have one undergraduate major, but majority of their majors are graduate health science, and all the other 9 campuses are the focus of undergraduate programs. So a majority of our students are actually undergraduate students. And among the 9 campuses, we all ranked extremely high in terms of national research university ranking. And if you look at public university ranking, we all rank in top 100 in the United States. And we're extremely proud of that as well, because how we are uniquely set up and also how much we share the quality of teaching and research. And we are also very proud in another word that we all share the same admission criteria as well as transfer criteria, as well as our application system. So all the UCs actually use one application system. And we share the same tuition across the board among 10 campuses as well. So that makes the students a lot easier when they are deciding where they want to go, either coming from a high school after the senior year in high school, or they decided to attend a community college like Michael's Pasadena College, and where they can transfer later on to any one of our 9 undergraduate campuses. And recently we have made some changes to make the standardized test more optional. And there are still some conversations and decisions being made at each individual campus, which means standardized tests like SAT and ACT could be optional or even test blind at certain campuses in the UC system, which makes it even easier and more accessible for the international students to consider UC campus. Of course, I want to introduce UC Riverside, right? And so you heard a lot of great things about the UC system. You're wondering, okay, so you have all great systems, all great universities. So how does that different from each other, right? So we're all fantastic universities. So you hear great big names like UCLA, UC Berkeley from time to time. But we actually, extremely proud of the consistency in education delivered among all 10 campuses. And today I'm introducing you to UC Riverside, which is also my alma mater, and I graduated from UC Riverside with my graduate degree. So as Tracy, both graduate and undergraduate degree. So as you can tell, we're extremely proud of our rich history and high quality education and the personal approach where our campus is so unique and so different than any other public university in the world. So give you a little bit of background, UC Riverside was established in 1954, joining the UC family, but our rich history goes back in the 1800s, where we are the birthplace of the navel orange. That's why you see the big gigantic orange statue on our campus. And to be honest, we have orange trees all around the campus. Not just that, we have the largest citrus collection in the world of every single kind of orange and lemon trees. We would have a species on campus. That also means you get free orange year-round on campus, which is extra benefit. So you can think about that. We currently rank about 88th in the country, and we are also ranked number 34 in terms of undergraduate teaching. And one thing we're very proud is our ranking in social mobility. We rank number 1 in that category in the United States, which means we truly help and dedicate our attention to students in terms of return on investment and make sure they have jobs and graduate school opportunities after they graduate. And that also reflected in the best value and best public university ranking by different agencies, as you can tell. We're very much dedicated in terms of supporting our international students, and we're one of the very few UC campus still offers a non-resident scholarship that is a merit-based scholarship to international students. And I believe we're the one offering the most by the actual scholarship amount. We offer up to $4,500 per quarter, knowing that we're on quarterly based system, so it's renewable, which means you can get up to $13,500 per year or up to 4 years. So that is some additional benefit to help with your study at the UC Riverside. And last but not least, we are located in the inland area of the Southern California. So we are very ideally located nearby Disney, the snow resorts, the desert, the beach, Hollywood, everything, you know, is accessible to UC Riverside students in an hour. We're in the suburb, so you get that quiet safety and very comfortable living environment, but you also get accessibility to the rich entertainment and the social life that the city brings you in the Southern California metropolitan area. So we're very proud of our school, and we can't wait to welcome you at UC Riverside campus in the near future. Feel free to check us out online as well. Next, I will pass it on to my colleague, Michael, who will introduce you more about the community college system of California.
Yes, everyone, I am a proud Highlander. I graduated my undergraduate and graduate degree from UC Riverside. So my heart is there, although I currently work in the California State University system. So once again, the California State University system, we have 23 campuses, and you can see from our map here that we go from all the way at the top of the state of California, close to the Oregon border, at the university in the city of Humboldt, all the way down to Southern California, all the way down to San Diego, which is close to the Mexico border. So we've got 23 campuses within the California state system to serve your needs. So we've got a lot of variety, 23 different campuses. I can guarantee you amongst our 23 campuses, you can probably find the subject that you want to study in the atmosphere that you want to study. So of the 23 campuses that we have within our system, our California State University system, or what we call the CSU, there's 2 that are polytechnic. And what polytechnic really means, it's a hands-on, more learn by doing teaching philosophy. I'll get to describe a little bit more about that, but one thing that you should know and that you should take away from this session is that polytechnic in other places of the world might have a different meaning, but polytechnic in the United States simply means it's a hands-on teaching philosophy. So we want to get your nose out of that textbook, and we want to see you do stuff with the things that you're learning. We want to see you do stuff with that theory. So I'll give you some examples of that in just a second. So we are one of the largest public 4-year university systems in the United States. At any given time, if you count the number of bodies that we have on any one of our campuses, if you add them all up together, we have over 480 students enrolled in our 23 California state universities at any given time. We have a large alumni network as well of over 3.8 million alumni. To kind of give you a sense of how large our system is, about half of the students in California who graduate with a 4-year university diploma have been awarded by the California State University system. So about half of those educated in California with a 4-year degree comes from the California State University system. And about 1 in 10 California state employees have graduated from the CSU. And so that gives you an idea of the contribution that our graduates make into going back to the state. So a little bit more about us. We are, again, the largest public university system in the United States. We may not be principally research like the University of California, but we are the largest public university system in general, focusing on undergraduate education. Like I said, we have more of an applied curriculum to the California State University system. It's not that we don't do research. We certainly do. Many of our students will do research at the undergraduate and at the graduate level. But our principal job is to educate you ready to work, which is our third component here, which is career preparation. Remember, we were born as teaching institutions. We want not teachers, but as teaching institutions. So when you graduate from a California State University, you will be able to go directly into the workforce, whether it is in business or in engineering or any of those other fields. So we really want you to be job ready upon graduation. A great example of what I like to share is, again, UCs are probably incredibly famous, right? You see them in the news all the time. They have all these Nobel laureates. They do all these amazing research. But if you wanted to study a subject that's more applied, like let's say architecture, you might be able to study architectural studies within the UC environment, which might be a little bit more about theory. Whereas in the California State University system, we have a bachelor's degree of architecture, which then will prepare you for your licensing. So the curriculum is very different. It's more applied. That's going to prepare you to be able to be that licensed architect. So it's slightly different. Again, no one system is better than the other. It all depends on what you want to learn and how you want to learn it. So that's, even though I'm a proud graduate of the UC system, I work in the CSU right now. And I feel like there's benefits, there's different benefits just depending on what you want to study, what you want to do with it, and how you learn best. So again, that's the message I also want to convey to you, is that no one system is ever better than the other. So once again, a little bit more about our Cal State universities. You see all of our different flags right here. We've got a whole lot of variety. One of the main things that we wanted to reinforce here with this slide is that our average tuition for international and non-resident students is about $17,800. What you may find at many private universities is that they'll give you a lot of scholarship money or grant money as an international student. Whereas in the public system, we don't have as much money to give away. However, our prices are a lot lower than others. And so what you'll find within the California State University system is that we may not have as many universities that will offer you scholarship money, free and automatic, but ultimately our fees are a lot lower than many other schools. And so you just have to kind of do the math and see if the scholarship money that a school is going to give you is going to balance out enough to make it affordable for you and your family. Another main thing I wanted to share with this slide is the fact that we are so proud in the California State University system that 50% of our students, so of the 480,000 students that are enrolled in our California State University, about half come from the California Community College, which my friend Michael will talk about in just a moment. We're a proud recipient of our California Community College transfers, and I think it speaks a lot to how transfer receptive we are. So you do your first 2 years at community college, then you can do your remaining 2 years with us in the Cal State. So the next slide, I'm going to talk a little bit about my particular school, which is Cal Poly Pomona. We are located about 30 minutes east of downtown Los Angeles, so we're not in a big downtown city. We're just outside the city in what we call the suburbs and suburban area, just outside a metropolitan city. We're also about 30 minutes north of Disneyland. That's why we've got to put the little Mickey ears on our slide. So we are beautifully located in Southern California, a short drive from just about anything you want to do. If you want to get to Hollywood, we're 45 minutes away. You want to go snowboarding, we're about 45 minutes away. You want to go surfing at the beach, 45 minutes away. I've had students do both in the same day because we're that accessible. So we're centrally located in Southern California. Our school size is rather large, about 25,000 students. But one of the great things about our institution is that our average class size is only 35 students in a class. And one of the reasons why it may be a big school, but it feels small, is because of our teaching philosophy. You'll notice that Polytechnic is in our title. And Polytechnic really simply means learn by doing. No matter what subject area you study, yes, you're going to learn the theory, but not as much as you're going to take a test on the theory as you're going to be doing projects that are going to test your knowledge of that theory and how you can critically think and implement what we are teaching you. So you'll see on the right-hand side all of the different subject areas and disciplines that we offer at Cal Poly Pomona. So no matter what area you study, whether it is business, agriculture. We actually are a farm, and we actually breed Arabian horses, and we have goats and pigs and cows and horses. Talk about some real hands-on experience if you want to learn how to be a veterinarian. A great place to study is Cal Poly Pomona. We give you an opportunity to breed Arabian horses. So we have a lot of very applied disciplines, even hospitality management, where we actually have a hotel and a gourmet restaurant located right on our campus. We've got 10 different engineering majors at our school where you learn the theory through practice. And so a great example of blending theory and practice is our agriculture students and our aerospace engineering students partnered together to develop technology that uses drone technology to assess drought areas in pasture land. So talk about taking what you learn in your textbook and doing something practical with it. So that's really the hallmark of a Cal Poly Pomona education, is that learn by doing philosophy. So that's the one thing I want you to take away from my slide, is that no matter what subject you study, we're going to get your nose out of that textbook, and we want to see you actually do. Project-based learning is what we're about at Cal Poly Pomona. So with that, I want to turn it over to Michael to talk about the community colleges, where we receive literally 50% of our students.
We love our CSUs and we love our UCs, and just to plug, I'm a product of the UCs. I'm a UC San Diego alumni, go Tritons. But now I also work in the community college system, and we love sending our students to Cal Poly Pomona and to UCR because they really are great learning opportunities for our graduates. So what are community colleges? Community colleges are 2-year higher education institutions in California. We offer associate degrees. So that's a 2-year degree, and most students will move on after 2 years to finish a bachelor's degree. Like Tracy said, the hallmark of higher education in California is access and equity. It's open access, there's no age limits, and it's focused on your career. So like she said, we get students who, some students are 16 and have gotten their high school diploma at our community college. And then we also have our handful of grandmas who are at PCC studying, wanting to, just learn some more in their golden years of life. And a third great thing about the community colleges, and something that we also kind of share with the CSUs, is that we're career focused. So we are technical and vocational. We really want people to have experience that allows them to work on the job. So some majors you might see at a community college that you might not see at a CSU or a UC is that we have courses, auto tech courses, where you get to work on cars and learn how to fix them. We also have, technical degrees. We have an architecture program, like Tracy was saying, where you do get hands-on experience, and you can apply that to transfer to a 4-year to get a bachelor's in architecture. And so we really value that career experience, and so that you're prepared to go on and start a career after you graduate with your associate degree. We have 115 California community colleges. We are the largest higher education system in the United States. And if you add together all of the students at every single campus, we have 2.1 million students enrolled, which is a huge amount. That's from students taking one class to students taking a full course load. But yeah, it seems really large. But each, if you think about it, each campus has a smaller amount, and the class sizes are much smaller than you will find at a larger university. Similar to Tracy at Cal Poly Pomona, classes average around 30 students. So you're getting really good experience with a professor. And these professors, they purely teach. We have no research, and so they're just there for you to learn. And so that's one thing that is really, really great about the California community college system. If you want to learn, it's a great place to start. And if you want to go to a 4-year university, it's a great place to get the foundational general educational courses finished, because these professors are focused on you learning. And so Personally, now that I work in a community college, I went straight to the UC after I finished my high school. But now that I work in a community college, I'm like, wow, I wish I had gone, because some of my general education courses at a UC, they were great, but they were huge. There were lots of students in them, like hundreds of students. And I had to do a lot of the learning on my own. But you're getting a lot more learning, and the professor's a lot more focused in a community college on you, which can be really good for an international student. 1 in every 4 community college students in our nation attends a California community college. And like I said, the average class size is 30 students. I just want to go over a little bit about the different pathways that you can go through if you're a California community college student. The first one, you might just want an associate's degree only. You want to come study auto tech, graduate, go back to your country, start your own mechanic shop. But maybe you also just want to study business or design. Many students do that. Right now, one of my closest students, he's just studying animation, and he wants to go back to his home country to do animation. And so that's one option you can do. Another option you can do is graduating with an associate's degree and then transferring. So you're going to get 1 degree from us, and then you transfer to a university like a CSU or a UC, and then you graduate with a bachelor's degree. Many of our students do this, and then you end up with 2 degrees instead of 1 degree if you had just gone to a CSU or a UC. Finally, the last option is just transferring only, and then graduating with a bachelor's degree. And so in this, your terminal degree is from the UC, but you started at a community college. And so I would say the majority of our international students at PCC graduate, either do options 2 or 3. They graduate with associate's degree and transfer, or they graduate with or they just transfer and graduate with the bachelor's degree. So I want to talk a little bit more about Pasadena City College. We are #1 in transfers to the UCs and CSUs, which is why I love doing this presentation with Tracy and June, because we send so many students to them. And we're also ranked in the top 10 community colleges. There's something called the Aspen Prize, which is, it ranks all the community colleges in the United States. And this is our 3rd time actually being ranked in the top 10. And we're the only California community college, which in my heart says that we're the #1 community college in California. We also have 124 associate degrees available. At a glance, similarly, since we're all in the same area, we have very similar proximity. We're located right outside of Los Angeles. In my heart, Pasadena is still Los Angeles. And so you're really close to lots of the things. You're close to downtown. You're close to all the good food. And so you're also really close to the Los Angeles International Airport, or LAX, beaches and snow all in one day. You could fly into LAX, go to the beach, go to PCC, and then end the day in the mountains if you wanted. Nobody really does it, but we say it. The history, Pasadena is very historic. You might know of the Tournament of Roses. It's a huge parade that is held each year on New Year's. All the floats are made out of millions of flowers. And it's a huge spectacle that people come from around the world to come watch. And lining those streets, we also have these houses that is an architectural hub. So we have many historical houses that are beautiful in the craftsman style. And it's known to be Millionaires Row because these houses were funded by millionaires. We're very diverse at PCC. We have 30,000 students. We have over 90 countries represented, and our ethnic breakdown is around 28% Asian, 38% Hispanic, and 20% white. CCs are quite affordable. You can start at PCC at almost half the cost of a 4-year. It saves you lots of money and time, and you can earn multiple degrees on the way. So if you just want to be certified in many different things, maybe a community college is the way to go. Like we also said, access is a great way with a CC. At Pasadena City College, we have Pathways, which is a program designed to help you transfer or get to your goal whatever that is. And it's award-winning, and one of the reasons why we keep getting ranked in the top community colleges in the nation. A lot of community colleges offer free tutoring. At PCC, we have free tutoring in over 35 subjects. But not only do we offer help to students, we also have opportunities like the honors program to show that you are really serious and want to show that you are a strong student in your academics. We're kind of hammering it, but also a CC is a great place to transfer. Like Tracy mentioned at the beginning, we have over 100 transfer articulation agreements with different universities. The most simple ones and the most straightforward ones are with the CSUs and the UCs, but we also have some with private universities, but the majority of our students do go on to study at UCs or CSUs. And we have a transfer center that's there for you to guide you to make sure you take the right classes, you write those essays. And the great part is that the admissions requirements are a little bit easier and more simple if you choose to transfer. And you might get into a higher ranked university if you choose to come to a community college first. So yeah, thank you so much for sitting through this whole presentation, this conversation with you. We just hope you can continue to dream about California. We really just love our higher education system. When we were planning this, we were saying that we feel so lucky because we believe it's the best in the world, and we really would hope that you would consider coming to California to study because we have so many things to offer for you as Kazakhstani students. I'm going to share our contact information in case you want it.